Okay, so now you should have here all 5 of your pieces because we made all of these already and we have them all dimensioned. Now I want to make another new sheet. So you need to enter all your information and you're going to call it cover page. That's going to be the name of it. So this is going to be our cover page and we're going to put a couple of things on here. So we're going to be putting our assembly on here. So I'm going to go to base and I need to go and find my assembly. So go find your project that you had and find your assembly. Here's my assembly that we did earlier. You need to go to your H drive, find your assembly. There's mine. And I'm going to click open. You shouldn't say this. Mine is because I do this. I've done this a whole bunch of times. So mine is doing this. Yours should be fine. And it pops up here. But I don't want this. I want an isometric view. So I'm going to come over here and click on the little home button. And it's going to pop it into my isometric for me. Now, what do we want to have? We want label visibility on with the light bulb. I want to call this assembly, all caps, spell it correctly. Half scale seems pretty small, so let's bump that up to 1:1. That looks better. I don't want hidden lines, and I do want it shaded. So I'm going to have the shaded clicked and hidden lines removed. I call it assembly, scale 1:1. My light bulb is on because I want it toggled, and there we go. And when I click OK, it's put it on here, and it just plopped it down in the middle. But if I go over here, you can see when I highlight, I get this little dashed red line here. I can grab that and then move it over here in the corner. And notice that it added the titles there because I told it to. Now I'm also going to put my explosion on here, so I'm going to go to base. And I need to, once again, find my explosion. So come over here, find your explosion in your H drive. There's my explosion. And notice that it's once again put it in this crazy thing here. If I come up here and click on that, it moves it over nicely. Now, one thing that is actually a problem with mine is notice these two pieces are overlapping. Let's see if I flip it. Oh. When I flipped it to another corner, it was showing me like this view, which had these two touching. And we know what the Emperor says, no touchy-touchy. This is actually how I'd originally set it up, like this. So I'm going to turn it over to make it look like that. Now, this is tiny. I do not want it that tiny. So we're going to scale this. If I click right here, 1:1/2, that looks much better. Now I'm going to take this, move it over so I have a reasonable size right there. And I want it shaded. I don't want hidden lines. I want to call this explosion, all caps, spelled correctly. I want the labels to be visible, and I don't need to edit them. And I'm going to hit OK. There's my explosion view. Now we're still going to put a parts list on here, and we're going to put bubbles on here. So in order to add my parts list, I'm going to go to Annotate, and then I'm going to go to Parts List, and I need to go find my assembly drawing. So I'm going to click right here, and my assembly is in a different folder. Here's my assembly that we're using. Now what I want to do is click OK, and if it pops up another window, say OK, and then I'm going to put it in right here. It's going to overlap a little bit. I'm going to fix that in a second, but I'm going to tuck it in right here so that it fits in there. Notice that it's got all my little parts right there. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to scooch this over because I don't want it to be overlapping there. So I'm going to take this and just pull it in so it perfectly lines up and it's all 100% in line. Then I can click off of it. Now what I want to do is I want to highlight over this where it's red and then double click, and it's going to open this up so I can fix stuff. The first thing I want to do is click on this first button, which is Column Chooser. I want to get rid of this description, and I'm going to click OK. Now the other thing is that these should be in all caps, and this one I even did some weird partial caps thing. So I'm just going to go in here and rename these in all caps orange piece. And they should say piece, and piece should be written correctly like that. That's the right way to spell piece. Pink piece, yellow, that's the yellow piece, blue piece, green piece. Hit OK. Notice it changes it. I do want to go in here and make this back so that it's all nice and even, parallel. That looks good. Nice and parallel there. All my pieces. Oops, I just messed it up. All my pieces, it fits in perfect. Now I need to go in and do balloons. That's this right here. And you're going to just come off the outside edge like this. You click on the outside edge. You click up. And then you make a little tail like that. And then you right click, continue. It should not go up the tail. Let's see if I can get it to do it. This is wrong. Let me finish doing it. This is wrong because it's crossing over the piece. It should come from the outside edge where this line is not crossing over the piece. It should also not be like this, where this line is crossing over another piece. Look how that's crossing over the blue one. That's also wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and go in and put in all my little balloons, and then I'll show you what happens. Okay, when I grade this, this is what I'm looking for. Each of your arrows should be on the outside. None of these leader lines, these are leader lines, should cross over the piece it's pointing at or any other pieces. This part of the line in each case, this part right here, should not be horizontal or vertical. And the little tail portion on each one of them should come out with a little tail like that, where they're all about the same length. And these little tails should all be the same length as each other, and they should all be like 1/4 inch long. Not 3 inches long, just like 1/4 inch, about like mine. The last thing I want to do on here is I don't like these trails coming off, these little lines coming in here. So we're going to get rid of the little lines. So I need to come in here and get it so that I can edit this. So you'll see the little dashed line there, and double click. Notice here it says show trails. I'm just going to click off of that and click OK, and you'll notice those little annoying little lines inside there are gone. So this is all done. So you want to file save. Save this in your folder, and I'm going to call this cover sheet. It has actually all of our pages there, but I'm going to call this cover sheet because this has the final one there. And if this comes up, click OK. Then you're going to need to go back and either reprint all of them as a PDF or print just this one as the PDF and add it to your Weebly as well, so that you have all 6 of your sheets put onto your Weebly.